Hey Ryan.
Ellie?
Yeah, let's get into closers today. People are the market needs it. People need closers. You mentioned before, people are looking for it everywhere.
I'm seeing in my post is filled with people looking for closers. And at the same time, I see a lot of closers looking for influencers. So I'm not sure what's going on out there. But it's a curious conversation to have.
Yes, let's get into it. So like who are the influencers that want the closers? Like what? Can you be more specific?
You know what? I get the feeling, and this is just because I've been in this world for a while, that a lot of what it is digital marketing companies that have a service, and they're looking for commission-based closers that they can play the numbers game with. So I've been involved in that when I was trying to learn, and I think it's a good way to get experience. I think it's a good way to go in and get experience and start closing. I also think you're going to spend a lot of time on unqualified calls or people no-shows and just kind of the worst aspects of the closing business. But I also feel there's a rite of passage there as well.
Right, so it's a good place to get experience.
It's a good way to get experience. And you can build your resume with it, but I don't know if it's a good way to make money.
So what would be a good way to make money if you want to be a closer?
Well, and this is the tricky part. The good way to make money would be to work for a qualified influencer with great marketing that's delivering an amazing product, an amazing service that has great testimonials. See, this is what you find once you work for a few of these companies, and I'm just going to group digital marketing or lead generation companies because I feel that's a lot of who they are. Once you work for a few of them that don't have those kind of results, you start to learn what to look for as a closer, and I think that's what's really important. And so one thing you can gain from these is experience on what to look for, what not to look for.
It's almost you at some level we're not even looking for that top level product. In some level we're looking for the product that's not yet there, that's just maturing, it's coming into its own. And so you're gonna get that's the sweet spot, because like if they're already the pro, they can really squeeze you. You know, they have all the cards. And if they're, like you mentioned, if you're a digital marketer, if they're on the low end, then they're also, you're playing games. But if that sweet spot where you can see that there's potential there, they're about to break out, you're gonna grow with them, that really is the best spot, because it positions you well to grow and to bring your talents to the table, and really almost get an ownership stake in some level.
No, I agree 100%. And I think where that sweet spot is going to be different for everyone, because it's going to be what you align with. But that's what I look for. If you say about to explode, but what is that, it's going to be a little bit different for everyone, because you want to, as a salesperson, I want to work for something that gets me excited. So that's what that sweet spot is for me. When I see something, I'm like, how hasn't this blown up yet? That could be different for everyone. But if you get that feeling when you're looking at somebody's product or service or testimonials, and you're just speaking with the person, that's that sweet spot.
Right. So you have to also know your instincts. It's not this, like, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Everyone says, "Oh my God, we're on the cusp. We're right there. We're about to blow," and it's half the time not. And everyone talks really big. It's again, sometimes I think as closers, we get susceptible to our own closing. Right? It's like that's the biggest trap. It's like I think someone once said it. Was it Russell Brunson or someone that said that that you have to, your funnel is not good unless you can get trapped in your own funnel. I don't know if it was his or somebody else. Maybe I'm misquoting him, but it was like you have to be able to almost, your funnel has to talk to you. And so there's always that game. And so in some level, when you're not in a high space, you're not focused, you're not in your zone, you could almost get too caught up in that game of, like this. But the truth is, that doesn't really sell anyway. People think that, I think everyone says, all you gotta do is wheel and deal. Let's be honest, that doesn't really work.
Well, there's a segment to that as well where, closing is a mindset. Sales is a mindset, right? So you want to have that positive mindset, that confidence, right? And we'll bring that into a lot of these meetings that we have. And when we're looking at a potential client, we've kind of, if you're good at sales, you've kind of shifted your mindset where you're like, oh, I really want, I'm confident, I can close anything, I love it. And you kind of go in with this overconfidence without being discerning enough. So it's a balance between confidence and being discerning. So I don't know, Ellie, are there a few things that you look for? You know, if you were to look for a client, or if you were looking for somebody to sell to, or you were to advise one of your clients as for somebody to sell to, are there a few things that you know you would want those potential coaches or clients to have, or businesses to have in place before you sign off with them?
Yeah, 100%. That's a great question. I found typically that when you meet the potential closer, if they have that oomph, that swagger, that's not confidence. That ain't confidence. Swagger is not confidence. Swagger is swagger. It's show. It's pump. It's not real. And I would look more for the person who's willing to learn, the person that's humble, that knows who they are, that knows that's more honest and direct. That they're not the best in the world. They don't have to be the best in the world. They just have to be willing to listen to the customer, hear what they want, help them get clarity on what they're looking for. Because people buy after they get clarity. When they get clarity on what it is they want, what they need, and so you have to be with them. You have to be totally there for them and listening and helping them separate between what they want and what they don't have, and all the pros and the cons. And then at that point, the sale becomes natural. And you can't do that with swagger. And that's why swagger ends up closing very low. I mean, they come in, I've spoken to many people. And there's one big, gigantic influencer that's doing now, I mean, he told me recently he's doing almost $500K a month. And he has a few closers. And he tells me the swagger ones, they come in. In the beginning, he made this mistake. He used to bring them in very quickly and think, oh, my God, these are the best guys. But he got rid of them. 1, 2, 3. He would have them in for a week and go, nope, get out. And because that's not it. That's not it. He has a hard team of real feelers that really connect with people, engage with people. You don't need swagger. People want honesty in today's market more than ever before. And so just trust your gut. Years ago, I had a friend that asked me, I need an air conditioner for my house. And I said, so who would I call? I said, Ellie, call 3 people. I said, how do I know who's better? He says, you'll know. Talk to them. See, get a feel. Just talk to them. See how they are as people. Because people are people. And you'll know within 3 who is the person that you would trust with your lunch. And that's the person that you want to have closing your stuff. You don't need the whack, woo. Right? You're trusting people with your customers, with your prospects, you're putting your name on the line. And that's so you have to realize that it needs to be someone that you really trust, someone that you'd have, comfortable having in your own bedroom, in your living room, around your table. And if that's not the kind of guy you have, then he's not a closer for you.
Right. So where would you rank industry expertise in this? Because I would say that I would rank industry expertise over swagger, of course, right? Because what you're saying is they have to be able to feel for your customers. They have to be, when I look at a sales role, I think one of your number one roles as a salesperson is to, just like you said, represent that coach or that client or that company to the best of their ability. The same as they would represent themselves on the call. That's kind of your main role as a salesperson, to be that representative in ethos, but also in expertise would be my opinion. And so that knowing an industry really well is far more important than false bravado to be able to close it. Do you agree?
100%. And so you told me once where to find closers, where to find that mindset of closers, right? Was it what you told me? I found I think a great place to find closers, at least an idea of where, would be Uber drivers.
Yeah.
And here's why, right? The mindset of a closer is someone that's willing to put himself aside for the bigger picture, meaning this is about the client and the product and whether they're a good match. And what you want from this has no equation whatsoever. Your want is not there. That's the ultimate mindset. And so you have to be able to need someone that's humble, that's real, that's able to put themselves their ego aside and be there for what's the bigger picture here. If they could do that consistently, they'll help the client. Like closing a deal, if it's for the client and the client needs it, that's not you don't need to squeeze. On the contrary, you actually have to be the big person on that call and help the client see that they need it. If you feel they really need it, right? If it's there, you have to help them, see the perspective, see what it takes. But again, look after the client. Be there for them. Be there almost like the mechanic that says, your car is gonna be shaking, and I would have put my family in it and mean it. Mean it. Everyone says that, and doesn't. It's just like salesy stuff. Mean it. You got to be real. You don't get a second chance with people if you lie. It's one time and you're out.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was saying bartenders and servers.
Yes, bartenders and servers.
They care so much about the experience of people. Like a great bartender cares much more about that person's experience when they come into the bar, then they want to connect with them, they want to have very rapport with them. What are they doing it for? A 20% tip, maybe, if they do a great job, maybe 25 if they do a really great job.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more, a great bartender cares more about that person's experience, and they get that tip because they know everything behind that bar. They know the wine list really well. They know what pairs with the food really well. They know how to make a proper cocktail. They know how to recommend things if somebody's not in a position where they know really what they want. That is your great closer. That's the closer you're looking for. Your great closer is really he's at your local bar. You should go down there and recruit him.
So we just coined a new phrase over here that we're gifted. This is now official on this podcast, or whatever you want to call this thing.
Yeah.
We're not calling it a closer anymore. We're calling it openers. Because bartenders, what do? They open, right? That's what they do, right? So it's an opener. You don't want closers. We want openers, right? Opening relationships, opening connections, opening opportunities.
Right. People close themselves.
Right. Openers are the new closers.
I love it. I'm glad we got there. That's exactly what it is. A great Uber driver, a great bartender, a great salesperson, that's exactly what they are. They're opening doors, they're opening a relationship, they're opening possibilities. It's 100% true. It's up to the person to close themselves, and it's up to the person and the product. And that's where I put it. One side is the potential client, and the other side is the product. And all you're doing is opening that door in between them and seeing if they like each other. They like each other? Let me tell you a little bit about this person. Let me tell you about this problem.
So Ryan, come on, I'm going to put you in the spot. There must be some secrets that you discovered this week in your calls, in your conversations. Little nuggets, little aha moment that you can share with everyone. Tell us, come on.
About my closing.
About closing and what you learned, like something you see in the market today, right now in January, that can make a difference for people right now.
That's a great question. Well, I think right now there's hesitation in the market. I think people are looking at their books more than ever right now because we're coming into tax season. As opposed to, we just went from December where you might have had a lot of room to spend. And now we've moved into January where that's really tightened back up again. And so the way I'm actually approaching a lot of my January calls is very much relationship build. And I'm not a pressure closer anyway, but I've really even pulled back on that pressure and actually gone way more onto the discovery side and building up this relationship with people because I know they're going to spend, but they're going to spend with people who they trust the most. And so I think this is a time for trust more than anything.
It's a really, really good idea. And how do you build that trust? Like, how do you, trust is a result, right? It's a result of a process of doing. Like, what is that? Build a relationship. But practically speaking, for people everyone's looking for the next thing. What do you do? How do you?
I think what I do on my calls, and this is what I know I do on my calls, but what's been mirrored back to me that I do, is I go into my calls with very well researched. And I think that's one of the things that helps build trust really fast. Is I will find that person, I'll find them online, I will watch their videos, I will read their posts, I will discover who this person is and what, how their mindsets work, who they're looking to help, how they're operating. So I have a page of notes before I even get on a call with somebody because I'm willing, it's not a lot of time, it's 10, 20 minutes of time, maybe, to go in and do that research. When they get on the call and they know that I've taken that time to look at who they are and who they're serving and what's important to them and how it relates to me. Hey, I like this because this is how it relates to me. Sentences like that build trust very quickly. When you can get on a call with somebody and show that you've taken time to research them, and they're not just another number on your calendar, that's a great way to build trust.
Wow. So it sounds like people are connected to people that are honest. Like they see that you have no agenda and you're fine as you are, and you're going to say the truth as you see it. And that essentially says that you're someone that's not going to play games.
That's right.
You're going to be that same person through and through because that's what they really want to see. Everyone had the experience with buying a car where the salesperson said, yeah, don't worry. When you buy this car, when you come back for service, they're going to know you're one of my people. They're going to know that they take special care of you. Blah 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 blah. I remember buying the car, buying it, and I totally bought into that theory. Oh, well, that's exciting, And then when I came back for service, I went to the salesperson and said, "Hey!" He acted like he didn't even know me. It's almost like Oh yeah, like that some idiot actually came back. He was like shocked that actually someone actually bought his lie.
Exactly. No, I really do think it makes a big difference to research your calls before you come in. And I mean, I have type forms for my booking, so when people go in, but it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes people don't fill them out. Sometimes, they book in through a different avenue. So it's really important to go into those calls well researched, and it's going to show that care for your client. That sales guy who said that to you, he wouldn't have researched you before. He says that to everyone, right? He doesn't care. And if that's what, if you're going into every call, like, I got this script and it doesn't matter who I get on a call with, because this is the script I'm going to use, and it closes this percentage of sales, and if it doesn't work, then obviously they didn't have the money, or they weren't a right fit, or yada yada. But in actuality, it's just that person has heard that script 5 times this week because they're out shopping around for a marketing company.
Right, and so it becomes a pattern to interrupt when you actually do your research. And it's people need to understand it's not that hard. You're not asking for a lot of work. I mean, if they give you a website, just go to their website, check it out, make an assessment instant of what you think is, could be improved, could be changed, and just get a story with the backstory of what their company is about. They've researched you for sure before they got on the call. Just do your due diligence and research them. Just like show up the same way.
Absolutely. And what can work really well is using that also in your follow-up emails. And this is something as well to build trust, is using a quick Loom video in a follow-up email where you can highlight some ways that you can help them, or some things that they can do for themselves over the next week or implement right away. Hey, I know you're thinking about this. Here's a few things you can implement on your YouTube channel right now that'll help you see results, or that other people have seen results with right away. Just to give just a nice little friendly Loom video that shows, again, not only before the call that I research, but after the call, some thoughts came to mind. Because this is generally what happens with me, is I go into calls, I take notes, I sit back, I kind of digest it, and I want, I used to kick myself and say, why didn't I bring that up on the call? I should have caught that. You don't catch it because you're in the moment. Other things are happening. It's not about beating yourself up in those moments, but it's about leveraging that and going back and going, hey, you know what? I totally missed this. I caught this sentence on the call, and then after really made me think about this little thing that could help you out. I just wanted to share that with you.
That's a really powerful nugget.
Come up on the call, and I really wanted you to know.
Powerful nugget. Thank you, Ryan. Have an awesome weekend.
Yeah, pleasure. I want to see everyone, all salespeople coming on to calls with this kind of drive and this care. It's just care for people. It's care for people who's on the other end.
There's nothing.
I think you're absolutely right, Ellie. The minute that you care for people on the other end more than you care about your commission, you're going to see your sales go up.
There's enough for everybody. There's enough for everyone. It's people need to show up, right? Like if there's an ice cream store in every corner, everyone will make money if it was good ice cream. Thank you, Ryan.